Alright, so I'm here with these old toys. Kind of an old guy, so back when I was a kid, we had a lot of fun. I had this same thing right here. This isn't the original one. I picked it up over the years, like garage sale, and this one as well. But when I was a kid, they had this from Toys R Us. And basically what it is, it's a gas powered. It's got this little gas engine. That's the fuel tank. It's got the little spring start. You just hook up the little glow plug. Everybody knows how those things work. You just fire it up and the air blows downwards. And as you can see, the whole engine, well, it's having a little trouble, but the whole engine articulates, okay? So as it spins, it blows air straight down, and these blades can flip directions. They've got these little weight deals on them that travel. And what happens is the prop wash blows straight down, and these big blades, which is unpowered, this big blade is just free spinning there. That starts to spin, and it lifts this whole device up. It's not heavy or anything, but on my original one, it had a little parachute guide. When it got to its apogee or apex, and it ran out of fuel, it kicked the little parachute guy out, who would parachute down. And then these blades right here, when they're not have prop wash and it starts to fall, they actually act like a parachute. They flip angles, and the blades start to spin backwards really fast, kind of like a maple seed does when it falls out of a tree, how it spins to slow its descent. Well, that's what happens with this. That's how this works. Pretty cool little toy. I don't think they make anything like that anymore. Perhaps I'd have to look into it, but I'm just happy to have it because it reminds me of all the fun I used to have with it. And I also had one of these. It was similar to this. Is an older one, but obviously you could see it's very dusty. Right, back again. I had a little technical difficulty. So yeah. Then there's this old thing. I'm probably going to 3D print a new collar there for this. But other than that, probably keep it original. But the way these worked, if you're not familiar, they had like a little, it almost looked like a kite string handle. And it had kite string on it, and it ran to these two little ports right here above the wing there. And you would stretch it out about, say, 30 or 40 feet away and set the handle on the ground. It worked best with two people, but you would start the little motor and give it gas, and then it would start to take off, but it was limited in a circle by the little handle about 30 or 40 feet away. And so when you turn the handle just by adjusting it left or right, it would pull these little knobs in here, which would adjust the angle of this back rudder here, the tail rudder there. That's all it adjusts, is that rudder. So that's the only control, is up or down. So turn the handle to the left, I believe, and it would go down, and you turn it to the right and it would go up. And it would just spin around you. Since it was like 30 or 40 feet away, you wouldn't get super dizzy, but it was really fun because you were in control of it. But it wasn't RC, obviously. It was line controlled, but I'm pretty sure that's what they call them. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. But I had a version of this, and I probably got a good 4 or 5 hours out of it before I broke it. But it was a lot of fun. So I picked this up at a garage sale because it brought back memories of those. Mine was a little more modern version, but it was essentially the same exact thing. You can find a ton of videos of it on YouTube, I'm sure. Not sure if there's a lot of videos of this particular type of helicopter, though. And that brings me to my idea that, or another explanation, is these. I have a couple videos about these. These are just electric little drones. They're kind of cool. They have a visual flow sensor on the bottom of them there. It's essentially just a infrared transmitter and receiver, and what it does is you charge this up with a little USB till it's fully charged, turn it on, and it's an uncontrolled drone. You just kind of similar to that. It's uncontrolled. You just let it go, But this, the visual flow sensor regulates it from hitting anything on the ground. Or so if you put your hand under it, it accelerates it. If it gets near the floor, it accelerates it. Nothing really stops it from going too high except for that little tip on that top blade. But what's cool about these things that I didn't know before until I was messing with it, these blades actually counter rotate. So one spins one direction and then the other spins the other direction. And it's transferring that power through this shaft somehow, which I focus. And so yeah, it's pretty cool that it counter rotates. And this top thing's like some kind of balancer that keeps everything. It kind of wants to find its center. And so those are like kind of like gyros, I guess. But yeah, these things are cool. They just will fly around your house and kind of take their own track, but they don't deviate much. And it counter rotates, so it doesn't really spin a lot. I mean, it spins slowly, but it's pretty cool. Now, if the power runs out, it just crashes, obviously. But be just something to think about for if you're messing around with projects or whatever, and you need some kind of lift device. It's a really good lift device because it can hover and it can go up and down, but it doesn't spin like a traditional helicopter, or not much. I've had like 10 different versions of these, and I had one that didn't spin at all. It just literally stayed right in place and went up and down. It didn't deviate much, and it didn't spin at all. But then most of them will slowly spin. And that's why I didn't know that those were counter-rotating blades. I just assumed they were generating lift. They were spinning the same direction, but I was wrong. And so anyway, that's my little overview of these flying toys. If you'd like to see more or see me fix them up, or if you have any comments, I appreciate any comments or likes. That's why I do it. Just like to inform people of different weird stuff. And that's how I come up with new ideas, is talking about them.